If you want to completely overcome self-doubt and build unconditional intrinsic confidence, remember this phrase: shoot the arrow first, then draw the target. Essentially, a person's internal inferiority and external appeasement both stem from wanting to hit others with the arrows they have. Pre-drawn targets set by the external world impose various rules and expectations. What path you should take, what you should do, who you should become, and why you should succeed. Once you believe these standards, you set a predetermined target for yourself. The score is determined by how close the arrow lands to the center, based on others' standards. Any landing outside the small circle is considered a miss, meaning wasted effort and total failure. The next time you pick up the bow, your mind uncontrollably recalls those moments of missing the target, making it hard to focus solely on the current arrow. You start hesitating, your posture becomes unstable, your breathing irregular, your hands tremble, your strength falters, and you miss the target again, creating a vicious cycle until you lose the courage to pull the bowstring again. In fact, hitting the bullseye every time is quite simple. It doesn't require years of practice. You just need to stand up right now, draw the bow, shoot the arrow, then walk to the wall and draw a target that belongs only to you. This target is your self-feedback mechanism. It can help you completely overcome the helplessness of inferiority, allowing you to fundamentally find your true value and establish a complete self. The purpose of establishing a self-feedback mechanism is not to foster blind confidence, nor to consider every random hit as a bullseye, and think of oneself as infallible and omnipotent. The process of building self-worth is actually a spiritual and physical journey where you gradually find your internal standards. Through these standards, you identify what is important to you and objectively assess your abilities and outcomes, thus rationally recognizing your value. People with a self-feedback mechanism have clear standards for their actions and value judgments, and they are not swayed by others' opinions or evaluations. They do not oscillate between extreme inferiority and extreme arrogance. This is the underlying logic of having a stable core. So how do you build your self-feedback mechanism? The first step is to list your goal checklist and establish your own scoring system. These goals should not be external expectations or demands from others. They must be things you genuinely want to achieve, changes you wish to make, and abilities you want to acquire. The goals must be clear, specific, and quantifiable. You can refer to the SMART criteria for this. Based on your top goal, set different levels of outcome expectations and assign different score values. This step is crucial because people lacking a self-feedback mechanism often have a flawed mindset. I either succeed or fail. I score either 100 or 0. The aim here is to learn to accept your imperfections, allow yourself to make mistakes, and give yourself some leeway for errors. The second step is to eliminate emotional interference. Objectively score yourself based on factual outcomes, comparing them to your initial scoring chart. Shift from an athlete's perspective to a judge's perspective and give yourself a fair and just score. Once you can score yourself, you can escape others, evaluation systems, and more easily accept any of your results. Scoring 90 is already impressive. 80 is quite good too. Even 60, a passing score, is sufficient. As for others expecting you to score 100 or be the top, that's their expectation, not yours. The third step is to create your improvement plan based on your scores. This requires a detailed review of the situation to identify directions for optimization, iteration, and continued action. First, summarize what specifically happened, the facts, and the outcomes. Then analyze what you did right and what could have been done better. Finally, consider if you were to redo this task, what improvements should be made, what skills should be acquired in advance, and if there are things you didn't do last time that you can do this time. If you can consistently achieve these 3 steps, you will enter a process of spiral improvement. You will no longer define and delegate new rights to others, and this is the process of building an independent personality. Of course, the process of establishing an independent personality and a complete self-worth system will not be quick. You need to actively engage with the world, experiencing trial and error over time. But regardless of where the arrow lands, at this moment, you already possess the courage to remain on the field. steadily hold the bow, slowly draw the bowstring fully, forget about the target before you, and release the arrow without hesitation. The direction this arrow flies is the path to your freedom and strength.